People think they know Elvis because they know the songs, but the truth is, the thing that made him different wasn't the voice.
Before the jumpsuits, before the screaming crowds, before the world called him the king, there was a quiet boy from a two-room house in Mississippi, a boy who loved gospel music, his mother, and the sound of a radio late at night. This is the story of Elvis Presley, the boy who didn't set out to change music, but did. Elvis Aaron Presley was born in Tupelo, Mississippi in 1935. He was supposed to be a twin, but his brother Jesse was stillborn. From the very beginning, Elvis grew up with a sense of loss and a deep bond with his mother, Gladys. They were poor, not storybook poor, but truly poor. No electricity at times, second-hand clothes, a home where faith mattered more than money. Music came early. At church, Elvis listened to gospel singers pour emotion into every note. At home, the radio brought blues, country, and rhythm from places he'd never been. At age 11, Elvis received his first guitar. He didn't practice like a student, he felt it. And even then, he was different. Shy, quiet, unsure, but something was already there. In 1953, Elvis walked into Sun Records in Memphis. Not to be famous, not to get a record deal. He wanted to record a song for his mother. The receptionist asked who he sounded like. Elvis answered simply, "I don't sound like nobody." She wrote it down. That answer would turn out to be true. When producer Sam Phillips finally heard Elvis sing, he didn't hear polish. He heard possibility. Then one night, almost by accident, Elvis started playing a blues song in a way no one had heard before. Fast, loose, alive. The room changed. Music changed. When Elvis appeared on television, America didn't know what to do with him. Parents were alarmed. Church leaders were concerned. Teenagers were captivated. His voice wasn't just heard, it was felt. His movement wasn't planned rebellion, it was instinct. Radio stations couldn't stop playing him. Crowds grew louder. The reactions grew stronger. They tried to censor him. They filmed him from the waist up. It didn't matter. Elvis wasn't just popular. He was a cultural shift. And suddenly, the shy boy from Tupelo was the most famous young man in the world. As Elvis's fame exploded, Hollywood came calling. At first, it felt like a dream. Movies meant stability. Movies meant respect. Movies meant Elvis could be more than a singer. His early films were a success, not because of deep stories, but because Elvis was on the screen. Audiences loved him. They loved the smile, the charm, the music woven into every scene. For a while, it worked. But soon, the movies began to feel the same. Different titles, different locations, same formula. Light romance, bright colors, safe songs. Elvis kept showing up. But the fire that once drove his music began to fade. He wasn't failing. He was stuck. Hollywood had given him comfort, but taken away his edge. And quietly, the boy who once shocked the world was being softened. Fame came fast, too fast. Elvis was drafted into the U.S. Army at the height of his success. When he returned, something had changed. Hollywood movies replaced raw music. Schedules replaced freedom. Expectations replaced joy. He was still famous, but less fulfilled. And the world kept taking, without asking what it cost him. By the late 1960s, many believed Elvis was finished. Then, he stepped onto a small stage. No costumes, no distractions, just Elvis and the music. The 1968 comeback special wasn't flashy. It was honest. It reminded the world, and Elvis himself, who he truly was. For a moment, the crown felt lighter again. After the comeback, Elvis didn't return quietly. He returned larger than life. Las Vegas became his stage, and the stage became a throne. When Elvis walked out under the lights, the world saw something new. The jumpsuits, the capes, the gold, the rhinestones. They weren't costumes, they were armor. Each outfit was designed to shine under the lights, to move with him, to turn a concert into a spectacle. And then, there was the performance. Elvis didn't just sing, he commanded the room. Every movement was deliberate, every pause mattered, every note carried power. The voice was deeper now, stronger, seasoned. He could whisper and bring an arena to silence. He could roar and bring it to its feet. Night after night, Elvis gave everything he had on that stage. Las Vegas wasn't just a residency, it was a declaration. The boy from Tupelo hadn't just returned, he had become a legend in his own time. Behind the lights, behind the crowds, Elvis was also a husband and a father. He married Priscilla Presley in 1967. Together, they welcomed a daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, the center of Elvis's world. Those closest to him often said that when Elvis spoke about his daughter, the weight of fame seemed to lift. In private moments, he wasn't the king. He was just Elvis, a man who loved deeply and carried the same hopes and worries as anyone else, only under a brighter spotlight. Elvis Presley passed away far too young. On August 16, 1977, he was found unresponsive at his home, Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee. He was just 42 years old. It was a day Elvis fans will never forget. People remember exactly where they were when they heard the news, on the radio, on television, at work, or at home. The world didn't just lose a singer that day. It lost a voice that had shaped a generation. And yet, his voice never truly left. You can hear him in rock, in country, in pop. You can hear him in anyone who dared to sound different, anyone who refused to fit neatly into a box. He wasn't perfect. He was human. And maybe that's why his story still matters. Because he reminds us that greatness often comes from the most unlikely places, and that even kings start as boys.